What was the Battle of Hue and the fight for the Citadel? Imagine a city steeped in history, suddenly thrust into chaos. The Battle of Hue was one of the most intense urban conflicts during the Vietnam War, taking place from January 31 to March 2, 1968. This battle was part of the larger Tet Offensive, a significant campaign launched by North Vietnamese Army and Viet Cong forces. Hue, the ancient imperial capital of Vietnam, became the focal point of this fierce struggle. The Citadel, a fortified complex that included the imperial palace, was a prime target for the attackers. On the morning of January 31, North Vietnamese and Viet Cong forces executed a surprise assault, capturing much of Hue, including the Citadel. Their goal was to take control of key locations like the Mang Cu garrison and Tay Loc airfield. Tragically, the attackers also carried out systematic executions of thousands of civilians suspected of supporting the South Vietnamese government or the United States. This created an atmosphere of terror and led to significant civilian casualties. In response, South Vietnamese and United States forces launched a counteroffensive. The fighting turned into a brutal house-to-house and street-to-street battle. Urban combat proved to be slow and costly, with heavy losses on both sides. The Citadel was fiercely defended by communist forces, who understood its psychological and symbolic importance. The battle involved South Vietnamese Marines, United States Marines, and Army units, along with South Vietnamese Army troops. For nearly a month, the Communist forces held the Citadel and much of the city. However, the United States 1st Cavalry Division and South Vietnamese units began to cut off supply lines and organized attacks to reclaim the city. By late February, South Vietnamese forces, supported by United States artillery and airstrikes, started to clear the Citadel. On February 24, South Vietnamese troops breached the southern wall of the Citadel, removing the Viet Cong flag that had flown there for weeks. The following day, they recaptured the imperial palace, marking the effective end of the battle. The destruction was immense. More than half of Hue's buildings were damaged or destroyed, leaving over 100,000 civilians homeless from a population of about 140,000. Military casualties were severe as well. United States forces lost over 200 soldiers, South Vietnamese forces nearly 400, and Communist forces suffered more than 5,000 deaths. The Battle of Hue was one of the bloodiest and most challenging battles of the Vietnam War. It highlighted the difficulties of urban warfare and the high human cost of the conflict. The intense fighting and civilian suffering had a lasting impact, influencing public opinion in the United States and around the world. This battle demonstrated the determination of Communist forces to target symbolic and strategic locations while revealing the challenges faced by United States and South Vietnamese forces in reclaiming urban areas under siege.